Right, I am with Frank Warren in the Queensberry offices. This is the Unibet Lowdown, sponsored by Unibet. So, Frank, what a weekend! A great fight on Saturday and a win for Arsenal as well.
Great sporting weekend. We had a double up. It was a fabulous night of boxing. That main event was where it was just a unbelievable, on the edge of your seat fight, and you've got to take your hat off to both of them. Fantastic fight. They did not take anything out of the ring. Everything was left there, all on the line, and they didn't need to fight each other, but they done it, showed what they're all about, and it was just it's a shame really you have to have a loser in a fight like that, but what a fight.
And listen, obviously Parker, he didn't come out on top, but first of all, what a class act he is, and second of all, he had a very good performance. He just, the better man won on the night.
Yeah, I mean, he is a class act, and the way I read the fight, I thought he won the first round. Second round went to Fabio. His gum shield come out, and I think that was quite fortunate. It gave him a little bit of a break but then I thought Fabio won the next round. Then Joe won it, so they were even going into, in my opinion, going into the fifth round. Then he won a few rounds, Joe, and it was a tough fight. I thought that they both showed their resilience and their strength and their desire. I thought Fabio did well, and I don't think he's had a lot of praise for it, but he was throwing some good body shots, and he was having some effect with that. And Joe was doing the same. When he was letting his shots go, he caught Fabio a few times and hurt him. But Fabio's got this amazing resilience. And not just resilience, he gets his composure back very quickly. He doesn't fall apart, he gets it back, and it's like he's, shakes it off. And as did Joe, and that's how the fight went. And I thought that 10th round, especially the last 30, 40 seconds of the 10th round, when he was getting caught, and it was quite torrid for him at the end of the round. And I was sitting next to Tyson. Obviously, Tyson's a major friend and supporter of Joe. And I said to him, I don't think it's going to go another round, this. I said, either, Fabio may have punched himself out because he let so many shots go, or how it's the effect on Joe. Anyway, as it turned out, it was Fabio's got on top and was letting his shots go. I don't know where he finds it from, but he was letting his shots go, and I thought the referee got it right.
Yeah, you speak about Fabio's sort of resilience. There was a moment in the 10th round where, obviously Fabio, I think most people would have said, was down on the scorecards, but he kind of looked to the ground. I think Joe had landed a few shots. He looked to the ground and he was like,
grits his teeth.
He's like, come on then. It's kind of, he's got that sort of real fighter's attitude that, even if a guy might be a little bit technically better than him.
Well, you've got to look at him, the experience that he's had, the experience he's got over him. I mean, here's a guy who's never had an amateur bout, had a couple of white collar fights, tough men contests, whatever you want to call them, and then he's learnt on the job. 20 fights, was it? 18, 19 knockouts, and learning his craft on the job, and each time stepping up a level. And he stepped up and fought the number 2 ranked heavyweight in the world. I mean, and showed he should be there with him. I mean, it was amazing what he did. And, both of them should be very proud of themselves. They certainly didn't disgrace each other. And I just felt it was, like, I'd say it's a Cinderella story. I suppose in some ways it is, where Fabio's come from and where he's at now. I mean, his next fight will be against Oleksandr and Usyk unless he vacates the title. That's the bottom line of it.
Is it, in all your years of promoting, have you ever seen anything like this? Is it one of the best stories you've ever seen in boxing?
It is. I mean, if you'd have thought when he turned professional, someone said, well, who is he? Well, he's had a couple of white-collar fights and that's it. In 20 fights, he'll be beating the world's number 2, and he'll be fighting Usyk, the gold medalist, undefeated cruiserweight champion, undefeated heavyweight champion for 4 belts. It is an amazing story, an amazing journey that he's been on, and where he's got to.
Like you said in the build-up, you will try to make the winner versus Oleksandr Usyk. You know, every step of the way for Fabio, people have said, no, this is a step too far. This, you know, we'll see levels. You keep hearing that. And people will say that even more against Usyk. But do you think he has a chance?
Look, everybody says about levels, but he's got something as well, as I've said before. He's got levelers. He's got them. He's got tremendous power. And if he catches you with them, he levels you. That's what he does. If he, you know, whether you're, whoever you are, whatever heavyweight, you're getting hit with shots like that. And once he gets you, he's a good finisher. He's all over you. You're in trouble. And if he does that to Usyk, yeah, I think he can stop him. Usyk will be a big favourite going into the fight. Of course he will, and he's got all that wealth of experience. But you've got to give him a chance, and he fancies it. That's the thing about him. He fancies these fights.
And, you know, to Fabio's point, obviously people talk about the power of him, but he says, you know, a lot of the 12 rounds is spent setting up the shots and feinting and jabbing and whatnot. So I think he's probably a better boxer than people give him credit for as well.
He certainly learnt from that Hooney fight, that's for sure. I think, you know, again, using what he says, you know, championship fight's 36 minutes long. It takes him 1 second to change the dynamic of it. And he's done that now on 19 occasions. That's what he's done. And he finds a way. And I don't know, he's got good composure, very good composure in the ring. If he gets caught, gets flustered a bit, but then he gets his composure straight back. And he doesn't take a backward step, does he? At all.
What did you make of the stoppage? Obviously, some people have said they thought it was early.
The stoppage was bang on. You know, if you're not throwing punches back, the referee has no choice. And he was getting caught with some really good shots. Not all of them, but he was getting caught with shots. And the referee got it right. And I don't think that should tarnish the victory. Excuse me. Tyson was sitting next to me. And Tyson's big friend of Joe Parker there supporting him. And he agreed. He said, you know, the referee was right. You know, what do you want to do? Go out on a stretcher? I mean, he was throwing punches. There was nothing coming back. And Andy Lee said the same thing. You know, a punch can change the dynamic of a fight. But what a rematch down the road it would make between the two of them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And by the way, what should a stoppage be? The fella's got to be, you know, knocked out to the floor when he's not throwing punches back. But you want to see him go out on a stretcher or having oxygen?
I think, you know, in some cases of fighters getting badly hurt, it's happened when guys are maybe too tough for their own good.
When the referee's been too brave.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's, you know, testament to the referee maybe on that one. But, you know, a lot of names there on Saturday night. You must have been, you know, nice to see all those heavyweights up on stage.
There's quite a few of them there. A couple couldn't make it, but a lot of them were there, and it was really good to see it and knowing that all the good fights we can make.
Any you've got your eyes on?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
There'll be some good announcements soon.
Well, we can't wait for that. And you know, it is another fight week. On to the next one.
Yeah, we've got a great show up in Manchester. It's a cracker of a show, and it's a bit like what's happening in the heavyweight division. We're doing it in the light heavyweight division. We've got 3 light heavyweight title fights on there. You know, headed up with Joshua Buatsi and Zach Parker. That's a cracker of a fight. I think between them, what they've had about something like 20, I think he's had about 27, 28 fights. Zach, I think Josh has had about 20, 1 defeat each on their record. And this is a big moment for them. Big moment for both of them. One of them will go on, one's going to drop down the pecking order. And it's got to be a win-win fight. So everything will be on the line for them. You know, on the 22nd, we got the big fight with Benavidez and Anthony Yard in Riyadh, part of the Riyadh season show, where the belts are on the line. So everyone's got their eyes on that. They all want to be in that mix. They want to, you know, I'm hoping they'll be fighting Anthony Yard. We'll see, but you know, whatever it is, it is. And then on the undercard, we've got the Liam Cameron fight in with Troy Jones, which is a cracker of a fight. And then we've got the Brad Rhea and Lyndon Arthur fight, which is an all Manchester affair, which is again a really good competitive fight, plus a super undercard with some good young fighters on.
You know, for Josh Buatsi, obviously it is his Queensberry debut. He's, you know, a very esteemed amateur. He's had a great pro career as well.
Yeah.
When you signed him, did you know, okay, we want to get this guy straight into a fight at the top level so that he can be challenging for world title soon?
He wanted a fight at the top level. That's what he asked for, and that's what he's got. You know, we've got some fighters in that division, in that light heavyweight division, and Zach Parker's one of them, who's done really well. You know, he busted his hand up, which sort of put him off course a bit, but he's now back to 100%, and he's very comfortable now, having moved up from super middleweight to light heavyweight. So, you know, it's he's getting his wish. He's going in with somebody who's gonna give him a good fight, and as has Zach, because Zach knows it's an important fight for him.
Obviously, not to overlook Zach, because that is a very good fight.
Don't look overlook him. He's a good fighter.
Exactly. But if Josh can get through this fight, Joshua Buatsi versus Anthony Yarde has been a fight that's been talked about for a number of years. If both men can come through those fights, just how big would that fight be?
It's a big, big fight. And as you say, everybody's talked about it like they talked about AJ fighting Tyson. It's that type of era, generational fight. Yeah, I'd love to see that, and we'll see.
And yeah, obviously Brad Ray, Lyndon Arthur, Manchester derby. Brad Ray's a City fan. Lyndon Arthur's a Man United fan.
Yeah.
How good will that be for the Manchester public? Lyndon Arthur, I think he has one of the best jabs I've seen.
Local derbies are always good, aren't they? Yeah. They're always good, and you know there's a lot of pride on the line. You know, who wants to bragging rights in Manchester? We'll see.
Exactly, and obviously Liam Cameron, he is a sort of late replacement for Troy Jones.
He's a good fighter.
You know, he had the setback last time out, but his story, you know, coming back from addiction and whatnot, it's a pretty special story. But it'd be good to see him back out.
It is, and it's been an amazing story, and you've got to take your hat off to him for all of his accomplishments and what he's done to get his life back on track. So, you know, good for him, and it's a cracker of a fight.
Well, Frank, we look forward to seeing you later this week. Another massive card from Queensberry, yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you. It's going to be a good show. Don't miss it on DAZN.
Cheers, Frank.
Right, mate.